All right, viewers, Surya's film Jai Bhim has landed into massive controversy, even though critically acclaimed. Now the film and the star both under attack.
A film that's got the nation talking. A film that's been hailed by critics and audience alike. And now superstar Surya's Jai Bhim is in the eye of a storm, as an influential community in Tamil Nadu has taken offense to the film. The Vaniyar Sangam, representing the powerful Vaniyar community, has shot off a legal notice to producers Surya and Amazon. The group has sought an unconditional apology from Surya and removal of scenes which they deem objectionable. So what is their grouse? They claim that the Vaniyar community has been defamed because of the name Gurumurthy being used for the cop who subjects a tribal man to custodial torture. The Pattali Makkal Katchi, which has declared itself the voice of the Vaniyars, has also objected to the film, even going so far as to declare a cash prize for anyone who attacks Surya.
சூர்யா அவர்களை வன்மையாக பாட்டாளி மக்கள் கட்சியின் சார்பாக கண்டிக்கின்றோம். இந்த பகுதியில் எங்க அந்த சூர்யா வந்தாலும் எட்டி உதைக்கின்ற ஒரு இளைஞருக்கு 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய் பணத்தை சமர்ப்பணமாக இங்கே கொடுக்கின்ற தயாராக இருக்கின்றோம். அந்த வகையிலே அவனை தாக்குவதற்கும் தயாராக நாங்கள் இருக்கின்றோம். இனி சூர்யா எங்கும் நடமாட முடியாது.
The original victim belongs to a Kuruvar community, which belongs to an MBC community, whereas the story revolves around an irregular community who belongs to scheduled tribe communities. Directors, producer and actor, Gnanavel and Surya, intentionally defamed a very largest community in Tamil Nadu called as Vanyakula Kshatriya community.
The makers of Jai Bhim, however, have dismissed the controversy and outrage. Surya, in a statement, made it clear he had no intention of defaming anyone and only wants to work for the upliftment of people. The superstar also appealed for everyone to come together and fight for social equality and brotherhood.
The creative writer of the particular story, he has not just changed Anthony Sami to Gurumurthy. He has also changed the protagonist. The whole point is that is the creative liberty of the filmmaker. The filmmaker has a creative liberty to change the names whichever way it suits him. So, just because he kept a name Gurumurthy, you cannot assume that that belongs to only Vaniyar Sangam.
The legal notice has kicked up a social media storm, with hashtags like We Stand With Surya trending and top filmmakers in Tamil Nadu also tweeting in support of Surya. Several political parties have also rallied behind Surya and dismissed PMK's outrage.
It's not a threat to actor Surya. It is against to the democracy, against to the constitution. Everyone has liberty to express their views on anything.
Yes, sir.
Jai Bhim isn't new to controversy. Previously, social media was abuzz over a scene in which Prakash Raj slapped a man speaking in Hindi.
The makers of Jai Bhim have refused to bow down to pressure from Vaniyar community and have said that they will not make any changes to the film. On the other hand, PMK has made it very clear that they will not rest until Surya issues an unconditional apology. This video is Divyan from Mother for India Today.
All right, viewers, let's shift focus now to the con man Sukesh Chandrasekhar, who's lodged in a Rohini jail for pulling off a massive con. Well, these images accessed by India Today are telling. On your screens are the images from Delhi's Rohini jail, where Sukesh Chandrasekhar can be seen behind a number of clothes which have been used as curtain to give the con man full privacy. These curtains have been put in the barracks in which Sukesh lives so that he can comfortably make phone calls without being caught by jail authorities. Sukesh lives alone in a barrack meant for 40 prisoners, just so he can get his privacy. Sukesh Chandrasekhar and his partner Leena Paul have been jailed in the 200 crore extortion case. Sukesh has been named as the mastermind in the extortion case, where a businessman's wife was targeted and duped of 200 crores. Sukesh and his partner's links with Bollywood actor Jacqueline Fernandez and Nora Fateh is also under the scanner. All right, viewers, unseasonal rainfall in the state of Kerala is extracting its biggest toll on the citizens. Many districts right now still inundated. Yellow alert has been issued in 8 districts for today, including Kottayam, Idukki, Kannur. All educational institutes will remain shut for the day. Kerala University and MG University have cancelled examinations. Kerala has been receiving incessant rain for the past few days, prompting authorities to ask residents to stay alert. Downpour over the weekend has led to waterlogging in several parts of the state. Rescue operations are underway in the low-lying areas. 7,000 relief camps have also been set up in the southern part of the state. 3,000 people have been evacuated to relief camps.
Well, the rain which has been pounding south and central Kerala and parts of North Kerala for the past few days has been slightly abated today, but the miseries caused by the rain furies continued in the state. Right now, I'm here in Kuttanad in the Alappuzha district of Kerala. The famous Chakratau temple has already been flooded here and many houses have been submerged in the water. Around 7,000 relief camps were opened in the state. As we can see from the visuals that the main road to this Chakratau temple have been flooded here, and also a holiday has been declared for all education institutions including professional colleges in Pathanamthitta, Kottayam, Alappuzha districts, and at the same time Mahatma Gandhi and Kerala universities have postponed the exams scheduled today in view of the inclement weather. And at the same time, the IMD has predicted a gradual reduction in rainfall over Kerala from today, though isolated heavy rain is forecast in central and north Kerala. At the same time, as many as 5 persons, including 2 in Thiruvananthapuram and 1 each in Ernakulam, Thrissur and Kannur, died in various rain-related incidents since last Wednesday.
All right, viewers, our big story of the day is the Prime Minister inaugurating the Purvanchal Express by landing a plane on the tarmac. Well, what exploded at the back of it was heavy political banter. Speaking at the event, the Prime Minister launched a blistering indirect attack on the previous Samajwadi Party government. The PM said the previous governments betrayed the people of UP who were looted by dynasties to get rich, adding that past governments blocked him from developing Varanasi. Prime Minister Modi also said that earlier people would be looted on highways of UP, and under the Yogi government the roads have become safer. Modi concluded by saying Purvanchal Express will bridge the gap and connect Uttar Pradesh and is an example of the development path of New India.
बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय।
एक व्यक्ति घर भी बनाता है तो पहले रास्तों की चिंता करता है, मिट्टी की जांच करता है, दूसरे पहलुओं पर विचार करता है। लेकिन यूपी में हमने लंबा दौर ऐसी सरकारों का देखा है जिन्होंने कनेक्टिविटी की चिंता किए बिना ही औद्योगिकरण के बड़े-बड़े बयान दिए, सपने दिखाए। परिणाम ये हुआ कि जरूरी सुविधाओं के अभाव में यहां लगे अनेक कारखानों में ताले लग गए।
समाजवादी पार्टी की सरकार में बनाए हुए एक्सप्रेसवे का उद्घाटन कर रहे हैं। पहले समाजवादी पूर्वांचल एक्सप्रेसवे का नाम बदला और नाम बदल करके पूर्वांचल एक्सप्रेसवे कर दिया। जिस गुणवत्ता के साथ, जिस क्वालिटी के साथ वो एक्सप्रेसवे बनना चाहिए था, उसमें कंप्रोमाइज किया गया है, उस क्वालिटी के साथ नहीं बनाया गया है।
The Prime Minister has this strange habit since the last 7 years. He keeps blaming previous governments, but keeps changing the names of schemes launched by the previous government, or keeps selling the PSUs built by previous governments. So this is become a habit with the Prime Minister. Doesn't do anything of his own, keeps taking credit for things that have not been done by him. This particular project also was announced and conceptualized much before he became the Prime Minister. So he should stop taking credit. He should start working instead.
All right, I'm going to move on to this story where an actor and a presenter found himself in a huge controversy and political backlash by making some highly derogatory and racist comments and statements in a reality show pertaining to a child from the Northeast.
Actor and television presenter Raghav Juyal is making headlines for all the wrong reasons. He's landed himself in trouble over this viral clip where he, as the host of the reality TV show Dance Diwane 3, can be seen giving the introduction of a little Assamese contestant named Gunjan Singh with gibberish Chinese. This video, which appeared to be old, has surfaced online, with netizens not only spewing hatred but also accusing Raghav Juyal of perpetuating racism on the show. And soon after it went viral, the host himself took to a social media handle to give a clarification.
यार क्या हुआ है कि एक बच्ची छोटी सी गुंजन आसाम गुवाहाटी से आई थी, और हम लोग जनरली बच्चों को पूछते हैं कि बेटा आपकी हॉबीज क्या है, तो बच्चे बोलते हैं डांस है, डांस तो करने आई हैं, बाकी हॉबीज बताते हैं वो। तो गुंजन ने बोला मेरी हॉबी है मैं चाइनीज में बात कर सकती हूँ, मेरे अंदर टैलेंट है, मतलब चाइनीज मतलब जिब्रिश में। और सब लोगों ने क्लैपिंग शुरू कर दी, वाह सुनाओ चाइनीज में बात करके दिखाओ। बच्ची ने चाइनीज में बात करके दिखाया, जिब्रिश चाइनीज ऑब्वियसली। तो इसी वजह से एक एपिसोड में, वो भी लास्ट के कुछ एपिसोड्स में, मैंने उसे उसकी तरीके से बुलाया, क्योंकि उसका वो क्रिएटिव चलता आ रहा था सारे एपिसोड्स में। अगर आप सारे एपिसोड्स देखेंगे तो आपको समझ आएगा, आपको एक क्लिपिंग में मुझे रेसिस्ट नहीं बोलेंगे। मैं बहुत कनेक्टेड हूँ नॉर्थ ईस्ट से यार, मेरी फैमिली रहती है। आई हैव माई फैमिली इन सिक्किम, आई हैव माई फैमिली इन अरुणाचल प्रदेश, आई हैव फ्रेंड्स इन नागालैंड, और ऐसे नहीं खास दोस्त यार जिनके साथ पला बड़ा हूं मैं। आई एम सो सॉरी अगर आपको इस बात से ठेस पहुंची है यार। मेरा यार वो कलर्स चैनल का ये मोटिव नहीं था कि ये ऐसा कुछ हो।
Even after Raghav's post, where he clarified the context of his introduction of the little girl, the controversy took a political turn, as Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma also condemned the racist rhetoric used by Raghav Juyal on the show. He wrote, "It's come to my notice that a popular reality show host has used racist rhetoric against a young participant from Guwahati. This is shameful and totally unacceptable. Racism has no place in our country and we should all condemn it unequivocally." For the unversed, Dance Diwane 3 came to an end in October this year. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
All right, viewers, let's move on to some cricket now. India's new coach, Rahul Dravid, has hit the ground running, and this is what he had to say in his first press conference as coach of India.
It's the dawn of a new era. Rahul Dravid as India's head coach and Rohit Sharma as India's T20 captain. The T20 series against New Zealand will mark the beginning of a new partnership between Dravid and Rohit in Indian cricket. Dravid, who has previously worked with India under-19 and A sides, after a lot of convincing from the top BCCI brass, finally decided to take over that position of head coach. And with Virat Kohli deciding to relinquish his T20 captaincy, Rohit was his obvious successor. Rohit has already led India in 19 T20 internationals in Kohli's absence and has a win percentage of close to 80%. India's new T20 skipper Rohit Sharma, when asked about Virat Kohli's future in the side, impressed upon how Kohli still has a huge role to play for Team India.
जो उन्होंने अब तक जो करते आ रहे हैं टीम के लिए, आगे भी उनका रोल वैसे ही होगा। बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट प्लेयर है टीम के लिए, जब भी खेलते इम्पैक्ट और अपनी छाप छोड़ते हैं, तो टीम के नजरिए से काफी इंपॉर्टेंट प्लेयर है।
Addressing the media ahead of the first T20 international against New Zealand, Dravid said that India will have to create their own template for success instead of following other teams.
Not at that point of discussion of looking at separate teams, I think we're not going to be doing that.
Dravid also highlighted that workload management will be key in the time of bio-bubbles, pointing out that there's so much cricket being played, it's important that players get enough rest.
Even in terms of the bubble fatigue or the situation we are in now, we will think about the players' long-term careers and futures as well, and keep that in mind and not prioritize that their well-being at any stage over sort of short-term results. So it's a combination of both. In any situation, yes, you have to have a combination of both. You have to win now, but you also have to keep one eye to the future. You have to plan and prepare for you spoke about the big tournaments. We have them coming up in the next couple of years, and we have to think about those things as well.
While the T20Is against New Zealand will be the duo's first assignment, the real test for Dravid and Rohit will be the World T20 in Australia next year. And Indian fans will be hoping that next time Team India doesn't return home empty-handed. Sports Bureau, India Today.
With that, I'm going to go into a quick break. You do stay tuned. On the other side is our fact check segment. Welcome back. You're watching a fact check segment where we bust certain claims masquerading to be facts on social media platforms and WhatsApp groups. There's a claim floating about suggesting that Pakistan cricketer Hassan Ali's home was attacked in Lahore after the T20 match loss. The fact check on that, viewers, the picture of the attack on JDS MLA home, nothing to do with the Pakistan cricketer. With that quick fact check, time for us to go into a quick break. Do stay with us on the other side.